Can you see the bags under my eyes? There are lots of, there's so much sport going on at the moment. If it's not the Tour de France, it's the Ashes, and then there's the Matildas. There's just too much going on. And let's not even talk about what happened with the Matildas last night. So instead, we're going to talk all things jobs and employment throughout Australia. My name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and the UK, and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we're going to talk today about the stat of the week, which is the employment numbers that were released last week. Amazing. And then we've got two hot jobs in Australia. We've got a job in the UK. We've also got a job in New Zealand that we want to share with you. And we've got a little bit of a snippet from the Today Show from Channel 9, where Catherine Kennedy from our business here in New South Wales was interviewed about this debate about whether you should be working from home. So stay tuned for that one. And of course, we've got last week's Twitter poll results where we were asking people, are you looking for a job right now? So we'll release those statistics as well. So let's jump into it with this week's stat of the week. So, of course, it's really just more than one stat. This last week, we had the employment numbers released from the ABS, and you're looking at those key statistics, the trend lines, that is the seasonally adjusted numbers on the screen there for all of Australia. You've got the month-on-month change and the yearly change. I suppose the big takeaways here are that the unemployment rate remains steady at 3.5%, despite the fact that there is a lot of talk about an impending recession with inflation, etc. Participation, though, decreased slightly to 66.8%. Employment increased by about 1,600 people around Australia, I think it is, and it up to 14 million Australians. The underemployment rate remains steady at 6.4%, and the youth unemployment rate dropped just slightly. The big news that's not on the screen there really is the fact that the New South Wales unemployment rate started with a 2. So it was 2.9%. That is remarkable. And I certainly haven't seen it in my employment life. I have not seen an unemployment rate at 2.9% in New South Wales. Some comparisons: Victoria 3.7, Queensland 3.6, South Australia 4.2, WA 3.6, Tasmania 3.5, NT 3.3, the ACT at 3.9. So that gives us an average there of 3.5%. So some really interesting numbers across the board there. And that's this week's very encouraging for the jobs market employment statistic, probably not so encouraging for the inflation rate. Couple of hot jobs in Australia this week. Here's the first one. It's based here in Sydney, paying $65 an hour. It's a business analyst in North Sydney. The relevant consultant that you need to chat to is 𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐥𝐥, and he will tell you more about it. But essentially what you'll be doing is overseeing the smooth data migration from a legacy system to a new cloud-based system. So you'll be collaborating with all the stakeholders, getting to understand the needs and documenting everything. So you need to have prior experience with our MS Dynamics, ideally, and Power BI. Communication's critical, along with those collaboration skills. 𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐥𝐥, 0282709772, or you can simply hit apply now, and in the comments you'll see the application link for this particular vacancy. Here's the next one we've got. And this one's based in South Australia. It's in Adelaide, and it's a competitive salary for here. So they're negotiable, basically, is what they mean. So if you have any interest, you're available right now, and you're considering a move, and you're a payroll professional, then you should talk to Peter Seaman, the manager of our South Australian business there. peter.seaman@people2people.com.au is her email. But what you'll be doing is you'll be responsible for the full payroll. That includes adjustments, reconciliations, terminations, etc. New hires or new employees. So setting those up and updating records for when there are changes. So if you are a payroll professional with a strong attention to detail, get in touch with Peter, 08 8317 4801, or just hit apply now in the comments. That's this week's 2 hot jobs in Australia. Considering a move to the UK, maybe you're a Brit looking to go home, maybe you're an Australian working holiday maker or a Kiwi looking to go over to the UK, here's an opportunity for you. It's a communications manager. It's based in London, £45,000 to £59,000 per annum, where you'll be developing comprehensive communication plans, and you will be managing a wide range of compelling and engaging content on various platforms, coordinating and overseeing the production of high-quality visual assets as well. So you need to have worked as a communications professional previously, ideally in the architectural and property or interior design space or industry. Hannah Scanlon is the person you need to chat to in our London office. That's hannah.scanlon@people2people.co.uk. One thing I would say too, and for those Aussies and Kiwis who are on today, that if you're under 35 years old, so if you're between 18 and 35 and you've got the skill set, there is a youth mobility visa which enables you to get to the UK and work with a company for 3 years. So if this opportunity looks of interest to you, you can apply for that visa. You can get the response within 3 weeks. You could work. And with the way that the employment and jobs market works now with virtual interviews, you should take a look at this. So it's a comms manager in London, £45,000 to £59,000. So jump on board with that particular one. Now, we've also got an opportunity across the ditch in New Zealand with our partner firm, Frog Recruitment, and I think we've got a video for that one.
Hi, I'm Kirsty. I'm one of the team leaders here at Frog Recruitment, and I am working with a healthcare company in the tech space who's looking for someone to come in and help them with a little bit of a system implementation project. In terms of the role, it is going to be looking after 5 different business entities and rolling through the system implementation basically. So it'll be helping out with things like the dashboards, reports, templates, and actually doing the training and working closely with each department to make sure that the system is streamlined to them. In terms of the role, it is temporary. They're looking for someone for around about 3 to 4 months, but as with all projects, there is a chance that it may extend out a little bit further. And in terms of what they're looking for, they do ideally want someone to come in and just have that experience actually working with systems and data previously. So that is the predominant side of the role. Having that strong communication and relationships with all of the different stakeholders, and you are going to be working across New Zealand and Australia, and the main person that looks after this system is in the UK, so you will be speaking with parties across the board. In terms of pay, we're looking up to about $35 an hour. You do get your 8% holiday pay on top, and ideally they want someone to be started in the next week or 2, based in Newmarket. So if this sounds like a role that you're very interested in, then please do get in contact with me on the details shown below.
Well, a battle is brewing between employees and employers as big corporations start calling time on work from home arrangements.
CBA staff are at the coalface of this fight, taking the bank to the Fair Work Commission after they were told to return to the office 50% of the time starting tomorrow.
So what does all this mean for the future of work in Australia? Let's bring in Medibank Senior Executive 𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐥𝐥 in Ballarat and workplace expert Catherine Kennedy with us in the studio. Catherine, I want to start with you. How common is remote working right now after the COVID pandemic in Australia?
Look, it's incredibly common at P2P, which is the recruitment firm that I work with. We would work with hundreds of organisations, and I would say that most of them have got some kind of flexibility, some kind of remote working. But where the shift is at the moment is how flexible is flexible, and there's definitely, obviously, a CBA is an example of that.
Well, people just got so used to the flexibility of it during the pandemic, not spending all that time commuting. Commonwealth Bank now wants their staff to come back half of the time.
Yeah.
Why would the bank want that?
Yeah, so look, I think they've actually come out and said themselves that they see it being collaboration and innovation. They think they're going to be the key advantages that they'll get. So their view clearly is that having people together physically in the same place creates more connection and there's better ideas and innovation. I think the other piece is around incidental coaching and learning opportunities that can happen. There's nothing more powerful than being directly in the room with someone, and I think that's probably one of the advantages that they'd be seeing too.
What does the law tell us, Catherine, specifically, and how will CommBank employees go about winning their fight for flex?
Yeah. So look, I'm not an employment lawyer, so I'm certainly not going to say that I'm an expert in that area. But my understanding is there's no requirement for a business to offer work from home, but there are certain obligations around consultation. And I think in this situation with CBA, the employees are saying they weren't consulted, and so I think that might be sort of what underpins their case. But separate to the legalities, I think the issue is, will it affect their ability to attract and retain staff? And it might actually be the market that kind of dictates whether or not they're able to continue with this way of operating or not.
Okay.
Karen, let's bring you in now because we know Medibank does have a flexible working policy. What does Medibank allow and how does staff react to that?
We've had flexibility in the workplace well beyond 2020, so I think it's been something that we've been awfully proud of for many, many years, and it's something that our people continue to ask for. You know, I think for us, it's about choice and autonomy that creates healthy, productive employees, and we've seen that in the last 3 years.
What have you seen more so in regards to productivity?
I think that the most incredible thing is listening to the experience of our employees being able to be part of a community, a part of their family, more than they were in the past. And I can certainly attest for that, coming from Ballarat and having to travel into the city in the past and just having the freedom to spend more time with my family and friends and the community more generally. So we hear that over and over with our employees.
Karen, do workers work as hard when they're at home as they do when they're in the office?
I think absolutely. I think without a doubt, we've not seen any drop in productivity in the last 3 years. In fact, I think many organisations, not just Medibank, saw that we could change so quickly as part of the COVID and the pandemic working environment. I think what we found is that autonomy and choice creates more engagement. So productivity goes hand in hand with that.
When you've got a beautiful open fireplace like you do behind you in Ballarat there, why would you want to move from your couch?
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you both, Catherine and Karen, for your time this morning. We really do appreciate it.
It's interesting, though, to see where it goes, what the future holds.
So it was marvellous to see Catherine Kennedy on the Today Show the other day. But here's the other big question. As a job seeker in 2023, were you looking? Were you not looking but open to a new opportunity? Were you looking but hesitant or not actively looking at all? And the results in Australia last week, 60% are open to opportunities or actively looking themselves. And those who are hesitant or not actively looking are the rest, the 40%. So essentially, if you had a lineup of 100 people, 25 people are not even actually interested at all, but the rest, well, they're looking. Some are hesitant. 30 of them are actually actively out there right now, and the other 30 are not looking at all. So have a look around your office. Have a look around your workplace. If you're in a warehouse and think, well, man, there's 200 people here. Well, I'll tell you, 60 of them are out looking for a job right now. Is that you? Well, if you are, you should call people to people. Here's this week's Twitter poll. And when working from home, how productive are you throughout your day? So, well, I'm more than in the office, I'm less than in the office, or there's zero difference. Hashtag P2P Live Australia. You can see all of our polls, and you can vote at People to People on Twitter or X. Do I have to call it X now? Man, I haven't even thought about that. And you can also vote on LinkedIn as well. So I can see Derwin Bager, that's great. I love the love hearts. Vince, I'm probably pronouncing your name incorrectly there, so my apologies there. So vote next week, or vote this week for the Twitter poll, and then we'll give you the results this time next week here at P2P Live, 12:30 on a Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you then.